2.
Fife back on the floor.
Fife gave pretty good minutes in that first half.
Record of Fife. Record takes. Long three-pointer.
Good looking shot. Versatile player.
That is the first three-pointer of the ball game.
1 for 11.
1 for 11.
Yep.
Alley-oop. McClain, no. Another turnover.
Pretty good angle for that lob pass. And I think that Davis is bleeding a little bit from the mouth.
Luke Recker from way outside.
Little Caesar's new Baker's Tray Pizza.
Did someone say party?
This place is hot.
This place is smoking. Oh, man, what a deep dish.
Hey, you're pretty saucy.
16 delicious slices, one topping, only $11.99.
Pizza.
Head & Shoulders makes me worry less. I used to kind of be self-conscious about playing with my hair because if I was wearing black, then I would end up with flakes on my shoulders. Black's my favorite color to wear, so it could be a beauty secret. Head & Shoulders changes dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
The address is CBS.
Welcome home.
Season for the Lexus December to Remember sales event with values you've never dreamed possible. After all, we know not everyone has visions of sugar plums. Ends January 4th, so make haste to your Lexus dealer.
Give your customers the help they need whenever they need it with a self-service website by IBM.
It's your Ford Store's end-all, be-all event. End-of-the-year deals on nearly all Ford vehicles.
Get a 98 deal and a 99 World.
Get low 0-9 financing for up to 48 months on every 99 Escort, ZX2, Contour, and Windstar. Get 1-9 financing on every 99 Explorer, Ranger, and Taurus. Or choose big cash back from $500 to $1,000.
This is the end-all, be-all event.
And it all ends January 2nd. For the best selection, visit your local Ford store today.
Here's to you. Thanks for making News 2 Chicago your choice for news.
11-13 remaining in regulation. 40-38 Indiana on top.
On top, and of course they scored 20 points in the first half of this game, and they had only 16 in the first half against Kentucky. Battled back to put that game into overtime, but low-scoring contest, and when you're 0 for 10 at halftime from 3, that can happen. And there's Recker with 2 in a row. He's got the stroke.
Luke Recker back-to-back threes.
He's got 17 in the ballgame. Hard to believe a Mr. Indiana basketball couldn't shoot from the outside, huh? Indiana pick up a little defensive intensity as well right here. Very key possession for Illinois.
McClain in the lane. Nope, but he will go to the free throw line.
So strong.
Sergio McClain, who last year on the Big Ten championship team was the 6th man, really a power forward, but asked to play at the point, and he has struggled.
Let me give you a little example about last year compared to this year. Of the players coming back from Illinois last year, they scored 15 of the 156 points their team scored against Indiana. Indiana, conversely, of the 144 points they scored against Illinois, 119 of them returned this year. You know, so you're talking about 15 of 156 points is all that Lon Kruger has to work with in this game.
Chukadebe and Archibald will sit for Lon Kruger. Kerpalia back on the floor, and so is Fess Hawkins. And McClain at the free throw line. Cleotis Brown replaces Corey Bradford. So Kruger going to his bench.
And Brown averaging right at 12 points a game is going to have to do something for Illinois, I think, in the next few minutes. Pick up that scoring slack. There's Kerpalia almost with another rebound.
McClain misfires on a free throw. It's a 4-point edge with 10:34 to go. Hastings, yes.
One of the points of emphasis by Bob Knight today in the shoot-around was when the big guys get the ball inside, don't fool around with it, just turn and shoot. That freshman was listening.
6-point Indiana lead. Largest lead of the ball game for McClain offensive.
Fife had a very good first half defensively and picks right up there in the second half. Excellent footwork on the defensive end. You'll watch him right here, balancing up his footwork, picks up the charge. Good job. Didn't play defense with his hands, played it with his feet, and it paid off.
McClain, who has been plagued by turnover problems, commits his 7th of the ball game.
Recker again. 3 straight threes, good-looking, positive follow-through. How does that change a ball game when you make some shots, huh? Ron Kruger needs a timeout. Indiana with a very good run here.
Luke Recker 3 for 3 in the last couple of minutes. And now let's take a look at one of our Applebee's tournament favorites. The 1987 National Championship was a classic down-to-the-wire finish. Indiana junior guard Keith Smart. Remember this? A 12-foot jumper, 4 seconds remaining. That gave the Hoosiers their 5th national title in a 1-point win over Syracuse.
You know, I didn't realize this till I was reading about, the history of that particular game. I didn't realize that Keith scored 12 of the final 15 points in that game. He was the MOP, as they called it, as the Final Four there. And of course, that was the Final Four. We started talking about outside shooting. Steve Alford hit 7 threes in that game. And remember, in the semifinals, Freddie Banks from Vegas hit 10 of 19 threes. So, at one time, college basketball did have some guys who could shoot the ball, as Recker's showing now.
Recker 3 of 3 from long range. He's got 20 points, and Indiana enjoys his largest lead. They are on an 11-1 run in the last 93 seconds. Bess Hawkins, guarded by Lynn.
I mean, he just reached down for those, get those foul shots, and just like automatic.
Nearing the 8-minute mark, an 8-point lead. Kripalja.
Well, he is a competitor. He's just taking over leadership here, doing a lot of talking, grabbing rebounds. That time he put the ball on the floor from 20 feet and got it to the hoop.
2 team fouls, or a second foul on Haston, and Kripalja back at the line. 11 rebounds, 10 of which came in the first half. Gets one, shoots one more.
And boy, one of the things that's so tough when you have to scrap for every basket, you've got to be a good free throw shooting team. Illinois went in a stretch there where they missed some free throws that took points away from when they could have been still in the lead. Flat shot.
Davis tries to save it.
State's tradition of excellence spans 100 years, from the revered days of Jerry Lucas to the reviving effort turned in by Jim O'Brien. The Buckeyes have a blazing backcourt directed by Scooney Penn and the high-flying Michael Redd. The Buckeyes are back. Lon Kruger and his Fighting Illini have struggled to find the range and their usual place of prominence. But just when the Illini was ready to close a most forgettable season, a freshman, Corey Bradford, has helped them to 2 stunning upsets. There is a Cinderella in Chicago. Can the Illini shock the world again? Illinois and Ohio State in the Big Ten Conference Tournament semifinal, presented by Kemper Funds. The Illini.
We've seen that play before in this arena.
I thought you might say that. Now, here comes Illinois with a 2-on-1 opportunity.
That's it.
And their first points. Lucas Johnson, freshman.
Who came in with a big game yesterday.
Traveling on Ohio State. The winner will play Michigan State tomorrow in the Big Ten championship game. There's Jim O'Brien, Big Ten Coach of the Year.
Now that makes 3 times he's been Coach of the Year in 3 different leagues. At St. Bonnie, there's Johnson again. At St. Bonnie, at Boston College, and now at Ohio State.
Atlantic 10, Big East, Big 10. Jim O'Brien picking up some more hardware this year.
Isn't it amazing how a group of guys that could be 11 seed all of a sudden decide, you know, hey, we can play with these people?
Well, you made the point earlier today in our first game about how rare this is to see in a major conference, and it seems like about every other year you see something like this happen in a smaller conference. Like a Prairie View A&M last year that won 5 or 6 games in the regular season, swept through the tournament and got into the NCAAs. But you don't see it at the Big Ten level.
There's a very smart play by McLean. You know, everybody said, well, why in the world would a guy throw it down there? You don't throw it back under your own basket. Heave it long. Maybe you've got some guy that had a breakout. Young man, son of a coach. Well-schooled.
Sounds like you, Billy, son of a coach.
And other things that people have mentioned a time or two.
Oh, man.
You won't touch that one, James.
No. I'd like to work tomorrow.
Nice patience here. Lon Kruger always has been a very solid fundamental coach. They're playing the zone now. Looking for Scooney Penn to get open on a wing. He cut through, didn't get the ball back. He recognizes the time.
2 seconds on the shot clock, and it never touched the rim. So discard the rebound and a turnover there. Shot clock violation.
There was only one player on the floor for Ohio State that recognized what was happening. That was Scooney Penn. He had cut to the wing. Nobody got the ball back to him, but he recognized right away that they had taken too much time. Good solid screen by Chukadebe.
Chukadebe left open, and he rattles it home.
How often do we see that? A guy that'll set some screens will get open. Ohio State didn't play that pick and roll very well at all. Johnson got caught trying to double up. Now this is an interesting matchup here. McLean, who's got size and strength on Penn. Penn's got quickness on him. But McLean likes that kind of challenge.
Illinois foul number 40, Sergio McLean.
Well, McLean whistled for that one. 7 unanswered points for the Illini.
And you don't want to, if you're a number 2 seed, to let an 11 seed get any early confidence in a ball game.
Red.
Michael Red.
Throwing right over the top of any backcourt defensive pressure. You know, I think of these two coaches on the sideline, Jim. You don't have to go back very far in NCAA tournament play to think about O'Brien against Kruger. Huh?
Yeah, in the East Regional Final back in 1994, where Kruger's Florida team beat O'Brien to go to the Final Four in Charlotte.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
In 1948, who could have imagined the rage over TV, let alone a PC? FYI, Kemper did. And those who followed our long-term investment discipline found a new world of financial discovery, like Kemper Technology Fund, where $10,000 invested in 1948 would have tuned you into $6.1 million last December. Ask your financial advisor about the thinking behind every Kemper fund. Long-term investing in a short-term world.
How's Max doing?
He's doing okay. So how long before Max can play again?
Well, the vet said Max will be back to his old self in a couple of days.
Even the interior of the Chevy Blazer was designed to make you feel at ease. A little security in an insecure world. Chevy Blazer, like a rock.
If this is you, communications has finally caught up with the way you live. Introducing AT&T Personal Network. All the ways you want to communicate in one network with the same low rate of 10 cents a minute on your calls, even wireless. One bill, one number to call for more personalized service. Just call 1-800-4ATT now or visit our website. AT&T Personal Network. It could change forever the way you communicate. Call 1-800-4ATT now.
It's my biggest story ever.
Let's run with it.
Nobody in the world sells more real estate than RE/MAX.
Exactly.
What tipped you off?
Let's just say there was something in the air.
Meet Royal Payne, an innkeeper with attitude.
Oh, look, Baywatch, the cellulite year.
Sean Larroquette is Payne. Series premiere CBS Monday, March 15th.
Illinois up by 1 early at the United Center. Now, you might be wondering if the Illini are tired. After all, they upset Minnesota Thursday, Indiana Friday. Lon Kruger told me, yes, his team's dragging a little bit, but he's not going to change up the minutes. He's hoping the game stays tight, and that way they'll live on the adrenaline rush. Jim?
All right, thank you, Bonnie Bernstein. They did in that game last night against Indiana after 11 o'clock local time last night. Oh, the Illini will check the fatigue factor as it goes on. And three-pointer wide of the mark by Sanderson.
So far, Scooney Penn has not been able to use his dribble drive and get some penetration. And he's been played by a bigger man throughout the first half. Illinois back to matching up in that zone. Johnson out in front.
Sanderson trying again, just grazing the front of the rim.
Not good looking shots either one, Jim.
Bradford inside, Chukadebe.
Good pump fake.
Yes.
Got Johnson up. Johnson third in the Big Ten in shot blocking, but really got knocked off balance, and there he gets blocked out again. Just accepted the block out by Chukadebe.
Chukadebe tried to make a move, got shut down. Corey Bradford, the freshman from Memphis.
You know, if you looked at these two teams, Jim, and I said to you, which one looks like the team that's an 11 seed? You would probably say at this point Ohio State, wouldn't you? Yeah, I mean, the positive nature of the way Illinois is playing, it doesn't look like a team that's used to getting beat by people.
First foul on Singleton. Can you imagine now if somehow Illinois was to win this game and win tomorrow and take the automatic bid out of the Big Ten? The record would be at that point 15-17. And again, we've seen this happen in not a major conference, but in some other conferences. We mentioned the SWAC earlier. Then where would you seed them? Where would you seed a 15-17 team out of the Big Ten?
I think you seed them, and you take this into consideration that they got in, but I think they become a very low seed.
I mean, it can't be much higher than a 12 or
That's
13
what I'm
at that
saying.
point.
I think they're down in that range, yeah. But you know what? The Illinois team will take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice pass.
Chukadebe, and Illinois has the confidence early.
I think the reason they have the confidence is Ohio State is not playing hard-nosed basketball. It's not like the first game. We saw two teams just laying it on the line defensively. Ohio State's just kind of like waving at them.
Red on the floater.
Look at this. Here's the defense. Through three men goes Bradford. And Chukadebe, if he'd have cut in, would have had himself a layup.
And Bradford pointed that out. But it was last touched by the Buckeyes.
Bradford kind of pointing things out. Remember Tony Harris last week, the way he took over that Kentucky game? Another Memphis player, although I did see a Memphis player, Robert O'Kelly, yesterday. And he can get that ball. That's not a backcourt violation. He never touched it.
Yeah, Robert O'Kelly had the turnover bug going yesterday.
He had one of those games that a kid would like to forget the rest of his life. He had two that he dribbled off his foot out of bounds for 11 turnovers. Ohio State takes a little zone approach right now. They've been hurt inside, over the back.
No call. Singleton with a steal.
Nice job, and then just throws it away.
O'Kelly and Harris from Tennessee and Bradford were all AAU teammates down in Memphis. Chukadebe traveled first.
Well, trying to make a play that he really doesn't have the ability to make. He's better catching and putting right away.
Tuesday on CBS, a Navy pilot blacks out at 30,000 feet. And the only way out is to try an impossible midair rescue. Jag, Tuesday on CBS. David James Elliott. George Reese replaces Jason Singleton.
Jim, when you think about this Illinois club who last year tied Michigan State for the Big Ten championship, they lost 7 seniors off of that ball club and basically all of their offense. Sergio McClain at about 3 points a game is the leading scorer returning off of that team. So quite a job to put a team back together again.
Over the back on Ken Johnson.
Johnson is accepting the blockouts, trying to use his size, but doesn't get it done. Big Fess hanging on in there, using that wide body.
Brian Brown with his first appearance for Ohio State. Illinois in the last 2 days has had their highest first half point totals of the season. 35 and 38 points against Minnesota and Indiana. So they've raised it, the offensive production here at the tournament.
Well, one of the things that really haunted this club early on, primarily because their guard situation was such they couldn't get comfortable at the point, they've turned it over 186 more times than they've had turnovers, and that's unbelievable. He got pushed, no call.
Archibald whistled for traveling. We also saw Fess Hawkins in for Kruger's team. Number 4 as Chukadebe gets a breather. And the turnovers just crippled them throughout the season. They turn it over more than any team in the Big Ten. They're also the lowest scoring team in the conference. Already with 6 turnovers here. Trying to force one, though, and they take it away.
Brown, who is an explosive scorer himself. What a play.
Brown. Wow.
You know, if you're Jimmy O'Brien, you might want to call a timeout now and just give your guys a woodshed talk, because this Ohio State team came to play a team that they thought was going to be soft for them, and it's not that.
Penn tried to whip it around and get it inside to Reese. Last touch by Illinois.
Look at this move by Brown. He took guys with him, faked out 3 men, scored on the inside. Tremendous offensive maneuver. Chukadebe able to take a little break here. Hawkins inside pushing around, and they stay in this zone. Brown and Coleman have come in off that bench, try to give him a lift offensively as they did yesterday, and that ball is thrown almost out of bounds.
Good snag by Brown. Driving. Ball on the rim. Johnson snares it. Too strong. And Illinois gets the loose ball.
They just want it more than does Ohio State.
Well, this is their season. Bradford
tried to draw the foul on that jump shot.
And he wanted the call. Looked around. Didn't get it. Penn whips it over. Penn now. 3-point shot.
There it is.
Scooney Penn, Big Ten Player of the Year.
He's the solid core for this basketball team, and he knows what it's like to play in a postseason conference tournament, being the MVP of the Big East tournament.
Bradford, the freshman, answers at the other end. Illinois by 5. Trupaglia back in for the Illini with his 2 fouls.
That's kind of surprising in a way with his team in the lead, particularly the way he's been playing. Scooney's starting to pick it up now.
Penn on the penetration move.
Look for that matchup. Now, you don't want to wear Bradford out having to guard him. Sergio McClain sitting on the sidelines. I bet he's coming in there to guard Penn.
3-pointer on the wing, and Johnson does it again, the 2nd time in the game.
How about the rotation on that ball? Very positive.
Perfect spin.
Yep. I think Lon Kruger's enjoying this. I mean, obviously not just because his team's in the lead, but to see a young team progress like this.
And the foul on Ohio State. Timeout on the floor. Illinois leads by 6.
Retirement, college.
Short-term thinking left your future looking sketchy? Perhaps it's time to draw on a little long-term investment discipline from Kemper. Like Kemper Contrarian Fund, where $10,000 in 1988 would have grown 4 times by last December. Not a bad figure. Ask your advisor about the thinking behind every Kemper fund. Long-term investing in a short-term world.
I'm gonna raise you. Fold.
Too rich for me.
I fold.
Call. A couple of things to remember. 1, A full house always means 3 of a kind. And 2, the new Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any pickup. Chevy Silverado. It's the truck.
Shut up.
Introducing Smoky Red Barbecue Doritos. With a loud barbecue taste that'll get the place smoking.
Fire in the sky.
Smoky Red Barbecue Doritos tortilla chips. Umbrellas not included.
Excuse me, number 8 bus go here. About number 9.
Who are you looking at?
Dry cleaners wouldn't take a check again, eh, Nigel?
Use Visa Check Card. It automatically deducts from your checking account everywhere Visa's accepted. So you can get what you need and get on with life.
You've practiced the play 1,000,000 times, and it pays off. It's March Madness on CBS.
Jim Nantz and Billy Packer back at the Big Ten Conference Tournament presented by Kemper Funds. Illinois, the 11th seed, leading by 6. Hey, Billy, what about all the old-time coaches, if you will, in the league?
Hey, wait a minute. Let's not call them old-time. We're talking about some brilliant coaches right here, but none of them will be in the finals tomorrow. All of them have had experience, obviously, in NCAA tournaments. You're talking about Bob Knight. He's coached 3 national championship teams, but they are not going to be part of this final or the semifinal, for that matter.
I say that old time with great reverence.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay? You know so.
Here's Mast into the ball game, gives solid minutes, former walk-on. Now, because of the defensive intensity, this is the first time all day I've seen Ohio State moving those feet.
Leotis Brown missing on the 3. Penn through the hands of Brown.
Not at 19-13 do you throw a lead pass like that. Their team's got to get solid first.
Nate Mast.
Boy, Penn wants a piece of this dribble. Brown on Brown down here. I don't know why Illinois all of a sudden has gotten away from what they did so well. Johnson out of the ball game has been a big help with their shooting.
They've escaped a couple of trips at the other end, though.
Yeah, this is an unusual team they've got on the floor right now. Mass wanting to handle the ball. I think it's time for Cleotis Brown to touch the ball some. Here he is.
Hawkins.
Now those are bricks.
Krupaljev, his 3rd. Hold on a minute. Yep, his 3rd.
Number 33, Demir Krupaljev, 3rd personal.
Well, you wondered why he was in the game anyway, Billy.
Yeah, I thought that, you know, he picked up the 2 cheap ones, and he almost had to sit a little longer than that. That brings Archibald back in the game and Johnson back in the ball game as well. And Lon Kruger's not going to go with this lineup on the floor very long. They really lost something when he went with this group.
North Carolina beating Maryland by 13 with 15 minutes remaining in the game.
Maryland has beaten North Carolina twice this year, rather handily, and North Carolina, you know, didn't make a breakthrough in the regular season against Duke or Maryland.
The Maryland loss, there's still some thought that Maryland might be in the chase for a 1 seed, what with the Auburn loss to Kentucky.
Boy, that 4th number 1 seed,
yeah,
looks like that's going to be tough. Stanford's still hanging in there, I think.
Stanford, you got to think Stanford, Auburn, or Maryland for that 1 seed. And I would say probably Auburn. Nice rejected.
Does Penn. Now see McLean back in, a much better matchup for Illinois' standpoint because he's got some size on Penn.
Reese in and out.
Reese, valuable minutes earlier in the tournament. Had a positive rebound on one end and looks like he wants the ball offensively. Jimmy O'Brien trying to find somebody on that bench to give him some stability offensively.
Ohio State shooting just 29%.
Set back screen by Johnson. Beautifully executed. Jimmy O'Brien is now ready for that timeout I talked about a few minutes ago.
22nd timeout. Archibald with the lay-in. Illinois with its largest lead, 8.
Jim, here's the back screen coming. Look at Ohio State guys looking around saying, I've got him, you've got him. Nobody's got him. Perfect job. Now watch when the back screens take place. And what happens? 2 Ohio State guys get caught here. Nobody back there defensively to play. Bad communication. I've got him, nobody's got him.
9 field goals for Illinois. They've had assists on 8 of them, which is a very remarkable percentage.
And Jim, out of curiosity here, does Illinois, as this game moves on, one of the things I always enjoy to watch in a postseason conference tournament is what do the fans do in terms of starting to pick sides. You know, even if you're not an Illinois fan, you know, you kind of start picking up for the underdog, so they may all of a sudden start getting the crowd going behind them the longer they stay in the game.
Brian Brown with a 3. Mississippi State and Arkansas are going to overtime in that SEC semifinal. The winner to play Kentucky tomorrow on CBS.
Johnson's third.
That's a 2. That's a 2, not a 3.
Third outside shot, though.
He has 10 points. Singleton.
Singleton's been pretty solid so far. Johnson broke long. Bradford almost took a look at him to hit him on a long pass. Archibald holding Singleton off. Dangerous cross-court pass.
Sergio McClain, what a move.
Yeah, that's what he can do, Jim. You know, he's played 4 different positions, all but center, since he's been at Illinois, but he's really more comfortable playing that small forward spot.
Gonna call that on Johnson.
Both officials a little nervous on that call.
6.5 to go, first half. Kruger's team still leading.
Back in the 60s, the straight and narrow wasn't exactly on everyone's mind. For those searching for a more meaningful future, Kemper's long-term approach provided a higher level of financial consciousness. Like Kemper Total Return Fund, where $10,000 invested in 1964 would have grown to a cool $500,000 last December. Far out. Ask your financial advisor about the thinking behind every Kemper fund. Long-term investing in a short-term world.
Just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch.
If you think the Cavalier looks good, wait till you know it can go up to 100,000 miles before its first scheduled tune-up. Chevy Cavalier. The more you know, the better it looks. Genuine Chevrolet.
No matter what you drive, import or domestic, Pep Boys has your battery. Get any ProStart 75-month battery from $39.99. ProStart name brand quality batteries starting at a low price of just $39.99. Pep Boys.
Cars like us.
People love us.
Is it the choice hops that give Miller Lite its true Pilsner flavor? Or is it the smoothness? Perhaps a night of research is in order.
We have a real live author visiting us today. The author of The Yellow Pages, Mr. John Lovitz.
Hey, Devin. Huh? Did you really make this?
Yeah.
Look, don't worry about it. I've written extensively on adhesives.
Why is there a light bulb on your book?
Ah, an excellent question. You know, you ever seen a cartoon? Somebody has an idea and a light bulb goes off over their head? That's what this is mean, like this. Oh, I have an idea.
Illinois, 13-17 on the year, leads the second-place team out of the Big Ten Conference by 7, as Lucas Johnson has scored 10 points, a perfect 4 for 4.
Jim, in this tournament, Lucas Johnson was 12 points against Minnesota. Then he had the big 17 against Indiana in a game that opened up a lot of eyes out here. So he's off to like an all-tournament team performances.
Well, just what are we talking about? 16 hours ago, that Indiana game, Lucas Johnson had his career high. That was his career high, the 17 you mentioned.
And here they are back into the zone. They change their defenses every time coming out of those timeouts.
Singleton
nice move by Singleton.
Spins away, can't finish.
Red trying to get something going right here. He's been frustrated today. Really hasn't gotten off. Let's see if they stay in his zone. He wants to see if Red's got any blood coming from somewhere. No red blood, so he's staying out here.
Thought you might go there.
Staying in the zone. Now see, Johnson, Jim's got some size out there at the point of that zone. Makes it tough to get the normal offense going. Boy, I'll tell you, that was a wild shot.
A hook shot and then blocked from behind by Hawkins.
Good job by Archibald. Hits it ahead.
Nice save. Flipped it right over to Johnson. Savovich is defending on Johnson.
Johnson almost faked him out right there, put him to sleep. Oh, how about that one? Whenever you see an official go crazy with the call, and they're like, I've got it, like he says, that's the one I was really correct on. I mean, the overacting. Academy Award right here. I mean, normally you just blow the whistle and give the other team the ball.
So a turnover.
What was the call? He says I've got it. That's the call. I've got it. And he said he blocked the shot.
25-18 Illinois. Steal by the Illini. They got Johnson ahead. McLean can pick it up. On the wing, Bradford, 3. That would have brought the house down. Archibald and Hawkins battling.
Savovich with a pretty good pickup there. Nice play. So Jim O'Brien not getting the play where he wanted it. So he comes to that bench.
Imagine if Bradford had hit that 3, having a 10-point margin.
They've been getting pretty good deep offensive position down in low. He's got that wide body.
Hawkins. Johnson got him with the arm and body.
Johnson cannot afford to allow him to post up that low to the basket, even though he's got the long arms and thinks he's a shot blocker.
With the conclusion of this game, we'll be selecting the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team. To date, Chevrolet has contributed over $6.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities.
Here we go, fellas.
Bess Hawkins at the line for 2.
The young man here has really had to work hard to get him in shape to play. He reported to Illinois at 300 pounds. Worked hard to get himself in a position to be valuable to this team. I mentioned about Illinois club last year losing 7 key seniors. It was a weak rebounding team in '98, and yet they tied for the conference championship. '99, much better rebounding basketball team, but they don't have the scoring punch. Trying to do it with numbers as opposed to individuals. Here's Johnson way out top now. Again, in this unusual zone defense, to use one of your bigger players out on the point.
Red got baseline and a reach-in call against Archibald. Another freshman for this Illinois team. You talk about something to build on, though, and what was such a disappointing season, then to come to Chicago. What a boost for next year. For the latest news, notes, and wrap-ups from all the conference tournaments, go to cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online, the keyword CBS Sports Line.
Jimmy made a good point right there with the Big Ten tournament being held in Chicago. Kids, get an opportunity to see you come right in. I want to play in the Big Ten tournament. Well, your state school is sitting right there, being a focal point. So if you can do well here, it's very important down the road recruiting-wise.
McLean banks it high, tipped up once. Savovich takes the middle. And a push off on McLean, his second.
Savovich doing a good job, Jim, coming in here playing good hard-nosed basketball.
Illinois foul, number 40, Sergio.
Savovich and Brian Brown last night against Michigan gave this Buckeye team quite a lift. Brown's already hit a 3 today. One stretch against Michigan last night, Ohio State held the Wolverines without a field goal for 12 minutes and 15 seconds. Run into a 1-and-1, misfired by Scooney Penn.
Scooney, 3-time Player of the Week in the Big Ten this year. Really not off to a scintillating start in this basketball game. Red realizing Johnson would like to have another one of those fade outs for a jump shot. Little zone defense here now by Ohio State.
Johnson, his first miss.
Well, he wasn't really ready to take that shot.
The pass threw him off a little bit. It was too high. He was open. That got him a little more pressure once he had to bring it down.
But you see what his size is doing on his zone. Penn not really wanting to pull up and take his jump shot with all of that size out there. Now he takes it.
Wow, 3 from long range.
Smart play by Penn. Instead of playing right at the top of the key where Johnson had the angle on him, he moves out to a 45 degree, which got him away from Johnson, gave him the open jumper. Didn't become the league's best player by not using his head.
Lead is down to 3.
If you're Lon Kruger, here's where you've got to really be worried about your team trying to go one-on-one the rest of the way.
Chukadebe.
It's a young team out there, and they built the lead, and they can lose it in a hurry.
Ohio State only shooting 36% from the field, but they climb back within 3.
Adolphus Busch went to Germany every summer looking at different breweries, and he wrote a series of letters back to his son. September the 20th, 1897. I would advise that we buy the finest growths of barley as soon as we can. We cannot make fine malt from inferior barley, and we cannot make fine beer from inferior malt.
We've got a level 9. Quarantine it all.
It's all hot. Take it away.
Worth, animator, knows good, knows evil, knows that having a formidable partner is definitely good. Chevy S10, like a rock.
We're back at the United Center, where Illinois all-time is 7-2 in this building. And you look at the Big Ten ranked teams, 6 in all, including Minnesota. Some are fearful that the Gophers, Golden Gophers, may have lost a slot in the NCAA tournament by getting knocked out in the first round by Illinois.
Well, Jim, I'm the brilliant guy that about mid-season said the Big Ten would get 8 into the NCAA tournament. Yeah, that's why I didn't join that tournament you guys are in.
At that point, though, Northwestern looked like a tournament team.
Yeah. And, you know, here's where I was kind of mesmerized by all that. Is there a heck of a lot of difference between, I'll say Michigan State stands above, but in regard to the rest in a given day, do you see a lot of difference between number 2 and number 8?
Well, yesterday you didn't see that much difference between Northwestern and Michigan State.
That's what I'm talking about.
Coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights. It's all coming up on Pennzoil at the half. Another 1-1 at this end for Reese. It'd be interesting, though, if Illinois somehow won today and tomorrow and got the automatic bid from the Big Ten, would that mean they would be taking a bid away from one of their own conference teams? Not necessarily. I mean, does it?
No, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily work that way.
For those people that are really into the brackets, as you are, and if they listen to C.M. Newton speak when he was interviewed, and C.M. to me is one of the most credible guys in all of the sport, not only just intercollegiate sports, they really talk about taking the conference affiliation out of the mix real early in that selection process. Here's Ohio State, 2-1-2. Half-court zone. Been pretty effective.
Lead is down to 1. Bradford, who had 29 against Ohio State in the only meeting this year, has been held to 3 so far.
Now Johnson recognized what they're doing to him. They're playing him to take the jump shot, so he, without pump faking, just put the ball on the floor and went inside. Now the big guys have to realize that and make a passing lane for him.
Johnson, you can see it, he just wants it. And he's already got 10 points. Knocked down a couple of threes.
There he did it again. Nobody came for the ball. Chukadebe
to beat the shot clock. And
good
a good
rebound.
Soaring rebound by Sanderson.
Sanderson playing a pretty good zone defense on that sequence because he was assigned over there on Johnson's side.
Nice. Red, what a pass.
Good block.
Ohio State ball.
Red never even came down with it before he...
You like to see that. Red, a big scorer, and even though he hasn't been doing much offensively, still looking to make a good pass. He's got to get untracked here, though, offensively.
Savovich. And all Illinois underneath. Illinois has missed its last 7, Billy.
I'd have to ask why he took that shot. Got a guy like Red, your leading scorer, let him get some touches.
Hawkins, look out.
And put it on the floor just as Chukadebe did earlier in the game. Arrow.
Tom Rucker says we're going to the arrow on this one since no one had possession, and it's going to be Illinois ball. You can see as soon as that ball was dished into Hawkins, it was going to be trouble.
Now here comes a nice move by Lon Kruger. He's going to come in here with Mast, which puts Mast at the top against this zone, allows Johnson and Bradford to be on the wings. So he's got 2 good shooters on the wings and a ball handler in the center.
Gone 5 minutes, 15 seconds without a shot from the field.
I think this is good deployment, though, of the bench.
Without a make from the field. The shot clock.
Mass job is to penetrate. Nice job.
Archibald got the roll.
That was a great substitution by Lon Kruger. Spread that defense out. Bring a guy in there that can play the point. Put your 2 shooters on the wing.
Red. In and out.
Hey, Archibald.
Yes.
He's doing a nice job, isn't he?
54 seconds in the half.
No place for Mass to go. Pull the back out. Use some clock here.
Chukadebe.
Got it. Isn't that the second jumper he's made today?
It is. They lead by 5. They had a largest lead of 8.
It's amazing what kids can do when they get positive. You know, and I'm not saying that he's a kid, but been around for a while, but they just believe they can do something.
7-second differential on the clocks.
Red comes out to set a screen, and then he was going to break down the middle. In that zone, Mass goes out to double team him.
Red drives. A double team didn't work.
Yeah, I don't know why he did that. They were solid in the zone.
7 seconds. Bradford. Can Illinois strike before the half?
Bradford keep the ball and try to draw a foul.
Bradford.
Yes, that was a smart play. Lon Kruger, a great guard himself in college, twice the Big 8 player of the year. Slapped him on the hands with that one. Terrific play. You know, instead of giving it up here, Bradford knows he's the best option for the team at this point. Kept his dribble alive, and look at the arc on that ball.
Corey Bradford, the freshman of the year in the Big Ten.
Well defended as well on that shot, Jim.
All right, Bonnie Bernstein, take it away.
Lon, your team played just 16 hours ago. Are you sure? I mean, they're just running the ball up the court.
Well, they're working hard at it. They're having fun playing. 20 more minutes. Obviously, got to do a little better this half than we did that half. Ohio State's going to turn it up a little bit, and we've got to respond to that.
Buckeyes had some suspect ball handling, some suspect shot selection early on. Do you feel maybe they didn't take you seriously enough?
Well, I'm sure they're a good basketball team. They're not going to overlook anyone. Again, they'll turn it up here at halftime, and we've got to do the same thing.
Lon, thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cinderella still lives. The Fighting Illini leads by 5. Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg will be along with Pennzoil at the half right after this message.
Express. By Pep Boys. Cars like us, people love us.
Well, Illinois has already defeated 2 ranked teams at this tournament. Minnesota and Indiana, and they're halfway home with a 3rd, leading Ohio State by 5.
Pepsi One presents the Virtual Playbook.
Jim, a little high-low here against the zone defense, well executed by Illinois. We're going to see it as Archibald comes across the lane, open up a high-low situation. Chukadebe will slip down inside, and they'll go right inside the back line of this zone. Good pass. Steps down. Well executed.
Von Kruger, can he squeeze 20 more minutes out of this team?
Jim, I think his experience of having played in the Big 8 tournament and then coached in like the SEC situation, tournament type play, I think it really helps coaches that have been around tournament type play a long time to have their clubs ready and have themselves emotionally ready, whether they're the top team or whether they're a team, in this particular case, like last year he was a top seeded club. This year he's down at the bottom. I think you got to really like to be here.
They wave the basket off. That is a huge call.
In a lot of ways.
Yes, because Kripalja would have been slapped with his 4th,
That's
right?
Good call on your part.
Well, could have been a 3-point play the other way and a 4th foul on Kripalja.
Well, remember, he picked up 2 cheap ones in the first half and then got the 3rd one that was a real foul. See if he can get some playing time here. They can use him on the boards. Ohio State starts that in there man-to-man.
Chukadebe.
He hit 2 jump shots, facing the basket. That one from the wing. He'd be much more comfortable from the foul line area.
Chukadebe had 8 points in the first half. Singleton.
Nice give and go.
Ohio State retains 23-7 on the year.
Johnson, who really had an easy putback there, was 0 for 3 in the first half. Little lob pass and he out of bounds right over the top of the defense.
Ken Johnson converts.
That's his first field goal of the day, obviously. Kripalja driving to the basket and takes it to the shot blocker.
So Johnson commits it. Kripalja will shoot 2. And the SEC final is all set now with Kentucky and Arkansas, 12:30 Eastern time tomorrow on CBS. Billy, you just saw this game a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but we saw that game in Fayetteville, which is one of the great basketball scenes in the country. Tremendous crowd, great facility. And Nolan Richardson on that particular day had that team sky high. You know, he's an interesting coach in watching them practice. They only went about an hour and 15 minutes, but it was absolutely full bore every single second. And that's the way they played against Kentucky. A lot of energy. Kentucky, a veteran club, and let's face it, Jim, until you knock out the team that's the defending champion, you know, you got to beat them. They're not just going to beat themselves. And if they shoot well from the outside, Kentucky can play with anybody. Oh, that's a walk.
The one thing Kentucky has missed this year is that outside shooter, that Jeff Shepard. Even Cameron Mills gave him a boost a number of times.
And their style of play, Jim, dictates the fact that they are going to have a perimeter threat. But if you look at the games they've lost, they've shot very poorly from 3. Chukadebe just steals it from Johnson.
Meanwhile, Lucas Johnson, who has caught fire in this tournament, is 4 for 6 from the field, and a strip. Singleton, nice hit. Yeah, good lead to Penn.
Very nice pass. Soft bounce pass so that Penn could run to it.
Down to 2, 33-31, Illinois.
Singleton has had a nice, quiet game out here in all phases. You have a feeling right now that scoring is going to have to come from someplace. Bradford has not been hitting today. He's been well defended. Johnson gets knocked to the floor, and here comes another fast break opportunity.
Wow.
He can create some shots.
Big Ten's top scorer a year ago. Not as high an average this year with 10 in the back court with him, but 19 a game and a 20 called by Ron Kruger as the Illini has been caught at 33.
I think he wanted to take this crowd out of the game a little bit. The Ohio State fans really came out of their seats on that one.
Well, Ohio State in its 100th year of competition in basketball. 1960 national championship. Ohio State versus California. And the Buckeyes won the national title behind Jerry Lucas's 16 points. A team that included John Havlicek and Bobby Knight. Ohio State won it 75-55.
Pretty nice, smooth hook shooter right there. Jerry Lucas. Field goal shooting percentage for 3 years, the lowest he ever had was 62%.
Incredible.
He had that smooth jump shot, great hook shot, led his team in rebounding all 3 years, National Player of the Year twice, an Olympic gold medalist, tied with Oscar Robertson for the leading scorer in that 60 team. Probably the greatest, considering college only, the greatest Big Ten player of all time.
Jerry Lucas.
Yeah, Jerry Lucas.
Of course, there's so many go through the years.
And Ohio State stays in that zone. They were pretty effective to me playing man-to-man. Oh, nice cut by Bradford.
Ball beats the shot clock by just a split second.
How about the way he turned the corner?
Sanderson left open. His outside shooting today has been short all 3 times.
It really has been, Jen. You can remember in the beginning of the game, he started this game with 2 jump shots. And there's a man that hasn't been off. At least he wasn't in the first half.
Yeah, he's missed his last 3. And a whistle on Ohio State.
You know, right here, we're seeing, look at McClain hugging Hawkins out there. And he said something to Hawkins, hey, I'm open. Hawkins came over, and normally when a team is losing, it's out of disgust the 2 players talk like that. When they're winning and playing like this, they're hugging each other. And it's just a small difference as to guys that want to be part of something really special as opposed to tearing it apart. Same high-low action that we showed.
Johnson to the line for 2. You talked about how hot he was in the first half, hitting his first 4 shots. Lucas Johnson, I'm referring to. He on the season, Billy, shot only 26% from the field.
Hard to figure when you see the nice stroke he has, and probably had more to do with shot selection than it did his form on his shot. And sometimes young players have a hard time when they step up to the next level of competition to find out how you get that shot off.
Meanwhile, Ken Johnson has 4 personals, and he's coming out. George Reese will replace him.
I thought Reese actually played a little bit better than Johnson in the first half. Johnson tries the block shots as opposed to moving his feet and getting better position.
So they were caught at 33, but they've now scored 4 unanswered to regain a 4-point lead here. 37-33 Illinois. Dead last in the Big Ten. 11-17 coming into Chicago.
Nice job by Johnson reaching over the top. Red down there posting up. Nobody getting him the ball. He's got too many maneuvers for Johnson to guard him.
Singleton can't finish it.
Johnson kind of lucky on that one, Jim. He came by us like a wild animal, having no idea where he was going.
And he travels.
There's a timeout on the floor.
The under 16 timeout. Timeout. Illinois leads by 4.
Jim Kemper Funds presents the smart move. Watch this one right here. Jason Singleton gets the ball on the inside. Good pump fake. Reverses. Looks for the shot. No, I see Scooney Penn out on the side. Scooney puts it right in.
You sound like a booth announcer.
That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to impersonate you there.
Well, Penn finds a man open on the wing. It's red.
Didn't we just see that play? Almost.
Almost. Very similar, except this time Penn got the assist instead of the bucket.
And now, you know, now I see where Illinois has their problem. Where do they get their points? Maybe, is it Hawkins?
Hawkins had 16 last night. Just 3 today.
And they have to come up with some points to stay in this game because obviously Ohio State has a lot more firepower. A dive.
Oh, Penn
nice. Left 2 guys standing on the floor and then kicked it out of bounds.
Illinois ball.
2 Illinois players laying flat on the floor. Scooney Penn reverse dribble. He might have a little cramp. He's down on that floor. Let's see what happened to him here, Jim. He's not getting up. Look.
Number 13, Brian.
This is really something. Now he gets up off this floor, puts the ball behind his back, takes off. 2 players laying on the floor, and then it gets away from him. He actually palmed the ball here and then lost it on the ball hitting his leg. Looks like he's got a little cramp. That could really hurt Ohio State here. They need him on the floor.
Got injured in a game against Penn State when he fell on his backside recently. Little tender.
Brown back in the game, so although he's just a freshman, not a lot of fall off there. He's going to be a fine player for Ohio State.
Archibald had an open shot.
Here comes Brown now.
Quick pass to Reese.
I like the way Reese came into the game in the first half.
You just keep wondering, how long can Illinois hold on?
Yeah, and again, I wonder where they get their offense from down the stretch here.
McClain, that's not what they were doing earlier. Hawkins keeps it alive.
Wheeling.
Oh, bounced around and out.
Now here's where it hurts to have Ken Johnson out there because I think he can handle Hawkins with his shot blocking. Hawkins getting good low post position.
Emmy Award winner John Larroquette returns to television as a Royal Pain, an innkeeper with an attitude. Don't miss the series premiere of Pain. That's Monday, March 15th, after Raymond on CBS. So Fess Hawkins, sophomore from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Shoot one more.
Jim, we start thinking about, you know, the heritage of the NCAA tournament. I look out here and see these Ohio State uniforms and remember Jim Jackson. Remember that they
Not that long ago.
Yeah, they beat the Fab Five twice during the regular season back there. And then all of a sudden they get in the regional final and that Fab Five just marched on through there to the Final Four.
It was an overtime game, though.
Yeah, it was in Lexington.
Yeah, it was in Lexington. We were there for that.
Yeah. And they set some history that will never be duplicated in my mind. 5 freshman starters on a team that gets to the Final Four.
Reach in on Johnson. We were in Lexington that weekend watching
that was
Kentucky and Duke play in the East Regionals.
This evening, correct. And you know, that might have been the highlight of that Fab Five's career when you really think about it as a team. Beating Ohio State, going to the Final Four. They got into some games, obviously, after that, but oh, there's a foul. Red just frustrated, gives Bradford a shot in the arm.
I would take the Fab Five's semifinal win at the Final Four over Cincinnati one year and Kentucky the next might too.
Watch this, Jim. I don't know whatever prompted him to do this. Just pushed away with his elbow.
Well, everybody saw it. Bradford banks it home.
He likes that shot. The Memphis connection. Here they are back in the zone, trying to stay in this game with their zone. Not a wise pass by Brown. Trying to make a play that wasn't there.
Just when you thought Illinois was becoming vulnerable. Get a few more breaks and make some plays.
Now, I like the fact that Lon Kruger has gone to Cleotis Brown. I think he's a guy that could get him some points. Nope.
Charge. The ACC final is all set now. It's going to be Duke against North Carolina as the Tar Heels eliminate Maryland from the ACC tournament. A 7-point win, Duke and Carolina.
You know, I'm going to say something about that. Carolina cannot be hurt as badly playing against Duke as Maryland could have. Maryland played Duke twice. Duke throttled them both times. Last year they throttled them both times. It's probably in Maryland's best interest not to see them again until obviously they would have to see them way down the road in the NCAA tournament if they both got that far.
Another charge going the other way. I'll tell you one other thing off that result. You can now say there are 2 teams for 1 spot, the last remaining number 1 seed, because
Auburn and Stanford?
Auburn and Stanford for the final number 1 spot. Going into the weekend, you could have said Cincinnati and Maryland could maybe make a case if things broke their way. But it's either Auburn or Stanford for the 4th number 1, with Michigan State, Duke, and UConn against by Trapolia.
Huge shot. This team just doesn't want to be denied. When you thought Ohio State could make the run on them, they're picking up points as best they can.
They had missed 8 straight threes before that one, and it's answered by Red.
Well, you can see why he's such a great scorer. He's got the outside shot. He has the ability to drive to the basket and the medium-range jumper as well. Here's Kapalia, and he uses every bit of the rim on this one. Boom, back down, around and in. Pretty good form on the shot, however.
But for Illinois, they saw it answered at the other end by the Buckeyes, and then a quick turnover as Johnson made a mental error, took his eye off the ball. Holman in the game.
He throws way on out. Sergio McClain almost picks that one off.
Penn with a 2. Reese keeps it alive, but out to Brown.
Brown trying to go ahead and make that play all by himself. Good hustle by Red to chase him down.
This is the kind of game that gives the NCAA committee summiting in Kansas City fits, because Illinois is still out there possibly taking a bid away if they can.
Well, there's no question.
Yeah,
there's no question they'd take a bid away from it. Yeah.
As long as they're alive, there's that possibility that one more team has to come off the board. Bradford.
Now Bradford made a real big mistake right there. He took the jump shot knowing that Scooney Penn was going to break long. He had to hit the ground and get back on defense. He was lucky that Ohio State couldn't execute the break.
Penn 3. Cleotis Brown comes inside to get the rebound. Fast-paced action. Bank shot, no. Chukadebe hammered by Reese.
And now Jim O'Brien may have to think about coming back in with Johnson. I realize he has 4 fouls. But go ahead and come back in here, get a little defensive play on the inside. Ohio State's rather small on the floor right now. Red and Reese, Singleton out there.
2 shots.
Got a pretty good rebounding team on the floor for Illinois. Sergio McClain can rebound, Kapalia, Chukadebe, and obviously Brown can all get up on the boards.
43, John Sanderson.
A lot of time left on this clock, however. Ohio State just hanging around in this ball game.
Well, they one time pulled even. Then Illinois went back up by 7. And now it's a 5-point lead for the last place team in the Big Ten.
What goes into a smooth Pilsner beer? Choice hops for flavor, 7 kinds of barley, and on a good day, your upper lip.
Give it up. Your Colonel's got the moves this NCAA season, because my popcorn chicken's back at KFC. Crunchy morsels of tender white meat. Try some for $1.99. Go Colonel, go Colonel. The Colonel, he's the man.
Thanks for making CBS America's most watched network. Welcome home.
The corporate thing just didn't work for me. I mean, that's just the politics, but the whole backstabbing, water cooler chit-chat and all that, well, garbage. So one day I'm online and I find Beyond.com. Before you know it, I got a home office and I'm living life on my own terms. With Beyond.com, I can stay at home and order all the software I need for my business, and it can be downloaded or delivered to my door. I'm as free as I want to be.
Oh, hi.
I think it's a great arrangement.
The 1999 Lexus ES300 with the new, more powerful VVTi V6 engine. Luxury and value are right at home in the fast lane.
Test drive an ES300 today at your Chicago area Lexus dealer.
We've been worried sick.
And don't give me that stuck in traffic story. You are gonna be punished.
Frankie is 18. But, Dad, I had to drop Jenny off in Cleveland, and Steve lives in Miami.
No Discover brokerage for 1 week.
Dad!
That's it, 1 week. No online investing. Now get that helicopter of yours off the lawn.
You can't control me forever! Sports face-to-face with Tim Weigel, Sunday nights at 10:35 on CBS 2 Chicago.
Back at the Big Ten Conference Tournament, semifinal game number 2, presented by Kemper Funds. Most tournament appearances, Michigan leads the way for the Big Ten with 28, but none this year. No bid this year, no NIT for Michigan. Eliminated in this event last night by Ohio State.
So that means that Indiana will go ahead of them.
Well, join them.
Join them, 28 all.
And Indiana, which some thought might be a 4 seed, probably more on that 5-6 line now, wouldn't you say, Billy?
It's always interesting to see how a team will respond from what happened to Indiana yesterday.
Oh, and a three-point opportunity coming. Jason Singleton,
who has really been solid today for Ohio State. See Singleton on the inside. Scooney Penn doing a nice job hitting him. Kapalia does not commit his 4th foul. Singleton, in a very quiet way, been solid defensively, off the boards, and also with his scoring.
Archibald and Hawkins for Illinois coming in. Kapalia out. Chukadebe also out.
It's one of those games, Jim, that's kind of interesting to me. When I look up at the clock, right now I have a feel that there should be like 5 minutes to go in the half. And then you look up there and there's still 11 minutes to go. And you just feel Ohio State's going to make a run here.
Well, you've been feeling that for a long time.
Yeah,
everybody's anticipating it.
I just, you know, maybe it's psychological because Illinois has been down so far this year, but wow, it's not going to make a run if Brown is going to make those kind of shots. I think substitution of Brown in the game gives them that score they needed.
Well, that's a three-pointer, and it's back to 5. Coleman.
Archibald, who's had a solid game off that bench.
And Singleton bumped him.
Ohio State foul number 23, Jason Singleton. 3rd personal.
Yeah, just when they get back to within 2 or they pull even, Illinois gets a little mini spurt of its own.
Well, and they got the shot that they wanted. I mean, Coleman, an outstanding outside shooter.
So it'll be a 1-and-1 for Archibald. And a reminder that tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern Time, the NCAA basketball tournament selection show.
I mean, how, Jim, when you start to run your offense and say, I've got the ball to the guy that's got the all-time record for threes attempted and made wide open, that's exactly the shot you want, but he didn't hit it.
So Archibald earns the right for one more.
What is the matter with McClain over here? He looks like he got hit in the head. Took a shot to the head, but he was just walking back down court.
Ohio State substitution, number 22, Michael Red.
Clay's still a little woozy out there.
No. Definitely took a shot to the face.
He sure did.
But here's back to 7, Billy.
2-1-2 zone defense now by Illinois.
Over to Bradford. Brown to Bradford.
Just absolutely wanting it more than Ohio State does. And Jim O'Brien understands it. Just 3 kids just working as hard as they can.
Timeout, Ohio State.
Loose balls will tell the story as to who wants to play. Watch this. Brown goes after it. Bradford goes after it. Brown goes after it. Back to Bradford. And he's going to put it away. It's just great to see a bunch of guys that haven't had success all year long just take it to somebody.
This is like an NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it is. For them.
Face it. Monday on CBS, TV Guide says Raymond reigns. Find out why they're calling it the best season yet for Everybody Loves Raymond. Monday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on CBS.
Well, you know, one of the things I said, this is only the second Big Ten tournament of all time. Can you imagine if they would be, let's say, like some of these other leagues that have had 40 and 50 years of tournaments, the tradition that would be in this league. Bradford not backing down anybody. Surprised he didn't pull that back out.
Last touch by McLean.
Now there's where they should have used a little sense, brought the ball back out, used some clock, and got a better shot.
Remember that possession right at the midway point of the second half, 9-point lead and the ball, and they turn it over. Down to 6.
You're exactly right, Jim. You see what that would have meant if they'd have brought the ball back out. They'd have had possession, kept the momentum in their direction.
Singleton was holding Hawkins underneath. His 4th.
I think that would be very serious to lose Singleton at this point in the game.
Put Hawkins at the line for a 1-and-1, and from this point on, every other Ohio State foul will result in the 2-shot bonus.
Singleton, solid player, a lot of experience. Gets another rebound. And here's that zone. Bradford coming out awful high. Nobody filling in on behind him. Red trying to get open on the baseline.
Another good rebound.
That was Brown.
Illinois crashing the boards.
You know, I think that Red's getting a little frustrating that he's not getting the ball. They've got to go ahead and say, hey, we've got an outstanding scorer. Let him touch it some.
So Cleotis Brown will shoot 2. Again, we're in the double bonus.
And look at that frustration. You can see on Red's face, hey, guys, don't forget who I am. Number 22.
Only 58% shooter. First of 2. Matt back in out of Central High School in Champaign, Illinois.
And you know what that's for? To get about 2 or 3 minutes of playing time in here, to have Bradford rested to go down the stretch.
Makes it 8.
And they're playing at 2-1-2 with Hawkins in the middle of that zone defense. And here's Red going down on that baseline.
To Penn.
Boy, Brown is doing a job on the boards, isn't he?
Tried to save it long. Back to Red. Oh, bad pass by Singleton.
Good heads-up play. But, you know, Brown did the only thing that he could, is throw it in the direction of his basket. Nice job here is to get somebody in the offense. Hawkins has got Singleton down low. They should have gone to him because he's got 4 fouls, right?
Yep, he's got 4.
Hawkins needs to get himself in position here and put some pressure on a much smaller guy down low.
Archibald. And a great look.
Singleton gets Hawkins in the face. The referee does not have to stop it.
Red, 3. Sanderson, putback.
Big break for Ohio State. That ball bounced. The only place where they had a man.
10-point lead down to 4. Mass to Hawkins.
There's that foul.
And that's it for Singleton.
Jim, as I said, they go down inside to the big guy. And Singleton giving up a lot of size there. Is that his 5th?
23, Jason Singleton, his 5th.
Huge foul for Ohio State. He's been their most solid player here today.
Fouls out with 7 points, 7 rebounds. And Jim O'Brien will kind of take a timeout here. Use the full 60 to make the substitution.
And Jim, when you think about Jim O'Brien, I'll think about one of the great NCAA stats of all time. And, you talk about Wooden's national championships. How about a guy named Dean Smith that went to 13 straight Sweet 16s, which may be as difficult as far as consistency as what Coach Wooden did. And I'm not saying it's equal, but it was stopped by that man right there in Boston College, knocking off what was then the defending championship team that had won the national championship in '93. And in '94, the BC Eagles stopped Dean Smith's streak at 13.
That's the thing we get asked all the time, Billy. People ask us, will anyone beat Duke? And there are so many examples out there like that North Carolina team back in 1994 that had Stackhouse and Wallace and McInnes as freshmen.
Yeah.
Had Montross on that team. And
had everybody but Lynch back from the national championship team and added 2 eventual outstanding players.
1991, UNLV beaten by Duke in the national semifinals.
Went into that game undefeated.
That's why it's March Madness, as they say. And Bradford comes back in. He got his spell on the bench.
Mass did the job. That little penetration, hit the ball to Hawkins on the inside and got a foul out for Singleton.
There's a timeout.
The under-8 timeout. Illinois fighting for its postseason life, leading by 6. 7 seed out of 11 at this Big Ten tournament. Stole a game, beat Indiana. In fact, Indiana now in 2 years hasn't won a game in the Big Ten tournament. But before last year,
everybody in Bloomington enjoyed hearing that. Nice going, Jim. Bring that up. They got hurt enough yesterday.
Kansas a winner in the Big 12 tournament. Eric Chenoweth having a big day, a double-double.
Is it possible, Jim, that after all the expectations move on, that this could be the year that Kansas could make a run? Remember Virginia? They lost Ralph Sampson. Next year they go to the Final Four.
Well, Roy's not had that difficult. I mean, he's certainly had years that have been heartbreakers, but he's been to the Final Four.
Oh, I know.
This could be a year.
Virginia. So at Virginia with Sampson, right. I'm saying, you just assume Sampson leaves and then they're going to be down, and what was left this year in football. University of Tennessee wins a national championship after Peyton Manning.
2 shots for red. Kansas will come into that NCAA tournament somewhere in the 5-6 neighborhood as a seed. Don't you think? Somewhere around there?
Probably. First time they haven't been up there like at a 1-2 for a long time, it seems like.
With Roy Williams, you could certainly see something happen like a run to the Final Four.
Well, we had him against this very same Illinois team early in the year, and both of them at that point looked to me to be too young to really make a run. Bad pass by Capolia.
And he's got 4 fouls. So he back, and Penn anticipating contact.
He really did. He anticipated the block, so he changed hands. He likes that shot.
Chukwudebe.
Remember, he made some of those in the first half straight on, has problems from the wing, but likes the shot facing the basket.
Penn could have reduced that lead to 3, and now it's a 7-point Illinois lead inside 7 to go. Johnson turnaround and one.
Hit on the arm. Been sitting on that bench a long time. Singleton's foul trouble. An eventual 5 fouls put Johnson back in the game. Good job to get the ball back inside to a big man that throws it back out. Best time to hit the low post, Jim, is after you've hit it and he's thrown it back out, because he can reposition himself.
Coleman returns. Let's check the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Free throw line. Ohio State now about to attempt only its 10th of the game. You can get team and player stats for every Division I team, plus in-depth tournament information at March Mayhem on CBSSportsLine.com.
Brown doing a lot of the things for Illinois that Singleton was doing for Ohio State. Grabbing rebounds, making an occasional shot, playing hard-nosed defense. Ohio State in a zone of their own. Bradford, top of the key, look for a jump shot. There he is. Didn't look for it. There it is. Short.
But gets the roll and in and out. McClain puts it back.
Bradford probably dribbled one time too many, Jim, to make the normal jump shot, but you could see that coming against that zone.
Sanderson, they let go.
How about Brown again?
Quick hand. Yep.
And he's going to dunk this one.
He'll take the two any way he can.
They got to go timeout here. They've got to go timeout.
Jim O'Brien's calling for it, Billy.
Yeah, they got to go timeout here. This is a tremendous run by Illinois. Ohio State players can't believe it, Jim, the position they find themselves right now.
A 9-point Illinois lead with only 5:46 to go. We are on the brink of really having a matchup that you've probably never seen before when you're bracketing tournaments. We could have tomorrow a 1 against an 11, the best against the worst, the top against the bottom. There aren't many 11-team.
No, I'm saying it's the first time in the history of conference tournament basketball if it does take place. They get Red the ball. It's really a key here to get him a touch. There he is.
Chukwudebe's second.
See, I think, Jim, what Red has got to do as well is, and I really like the way he's patient offensively for being as big a scorer he is, but in a situation like this with 5 minutes to go, you have got to make yourself available to the ball. And I hate to make the representation, but a guy who played in this gym time after time, it wasn't, that people went and passed it to him. He went and got the ball and scored. And that's what Red's got to do.
Red,
he's one number away from being able to do that. He's 22. The guy I'm talking about was 23. Full court pressure. Jim O'Brien changes strategy here. McClain, who's played some point, handles it pretty well. Lute Olson, consistent once again. Dangerous pass.
And a slap up to Red and a reach in.
And Scooney Penn's got that leg problem once again, Jim. Diving out for the ball. He's all right.
Third on Sergio McClain.
But a very dangerous, soft cross-court pass. Not what you want to do. Set everything up for Ohio State.
So Red returns to the line, just a sophomore. He is on pace.
2 shots.
To overtake the all-time score in school history by the end of his career here at Ohio State. That's Dennis Hobson.
That would surprise you. You know what? You start saying, who's the all-time leading scorer at Ohio
Lucas
State?
couldn't play 4 years, right? Yeah, you wouldn't have guessed that, though, anyway, would you? You'd say Jim Jackson or somebody, right?
You'd have to reach out for that one. Short. It's amazing to me there has been no panic in Illinois' eyes, and there also has been no situation where they're trying to slow everything down and wish their way to victory. They keep moving at it.
Big shot, Chukwudebe. Lead by 8, under 5 to play, and a push-off. Called on Bradford.
And that was just excellent dribbling by Scooney Penn. He just froze the defender.
It'll be a 1-and-1 for Penn. Scooney Penn, who we talked about Jim O'Brien receiving a lot of honors. Scooney Penn at Boston College was the Big East Freshman of the Year. And then back in '97, he was the Big East Tournament Most Valuable Player. And this year, the Big Ten Player of the Year.
Jim, we talked about Ohio State going to Final Four. Back in '68 when they went to the Final Four, the Big Ten didn't have a tournament. They ended up in a tie that year with Iowa and had a playoff game at Purdue, which got them into the NCAA tournament.
the Big East has had a postseason tournament before then. See?
Yeah, right.
McClain. Let's see when they call that.
Oh, yeah. No, that's going to be a basket and a shot, foul shot. McClain just too strong for Penn down inside.
Penn was almost holding on to him.
Well, he could have taken Penn and Penn's entire body right up to the basket on this. Look at how strong McClain is now. He's got him ready to watch. He takes him right up off the ground. Penn's lucky he didn't break an arm. And speaking of Penn, they're in the NCAA tournament, right?
That's right.
Knocking off Princeton in a game that those two played this year. Probably the strangest game in maybe the history of college basketball in a long time. Not the biggest comeback ever, but certainly one of the strangest games ever played.
But a 30-point plus comeback. And now Illinois has its largest lead, 11 points, with 4.5 remaining.
Ohio State substitution.
And Lon Kruger tells Bradford, and you know, these kids are really rolling on some adrenaline here. I mean, they've played 2 games as opposed to Ohio State just having to play 1. But they are so fired up. Lon Kruger has been brilliant with his substitution pattern. And he just tried to calm Corey Bradford down a little bit there.
I'm reminded that Penn comeback was 27 as Brown floats one home.
Now they're picking up full court. I'd look for Johnson to hit a jump shot against this full court pressure.
Ball was free for a moment and a turnover.
Now, we talked about the number of turnovers this Illinois team has had on the year. 186 more turnovers than assists coming into this game. So this full court pressure is something Jim O'Brien doing very well, and maybe he can get this young team to get nervous handling the ball. 4 good shooters surrounding this zone right now for Ohio State.
We move inside 4 minutes. Coleman 3.
4 good shooters. Coleman one of them.
From 11 to 6, just like that. And a steal. What a play by Red. Penn. No. Oh, I thought it was going in from here.
Now, Jim, what I think you're going to see, I think it's time for Mass to come into this ball game for Illinois, and I'll tell you why. They really are not handling the press at all, and they need another ball handler to freeze things up. You can see how the press is really bothering them.
2 shots for Scooney Penn. Well, Krupalya is going to come in for Illinois, and he can handle the ball, Billy, for a big man.
Yeah, but I think that they need a little steadying influence right here, and then to get some shots. Brown and Bradford can get some shots against the press if they can get it up to half court.
Scooney is 0 for 3 from the line today.
Normally a 76 free throw shooting percentage. He's going to sit down. Seems like he's cramping up a little bit in that leg. That trainer's going to work on him over there in a hurry.
Sapovich back in for Ohio State. Cut the lead to 5. Krupalya doubled up. Goes over the top, and they beat it. Johnson. He'll pull it back out.
Well, look at this pressure everywhere. Somebody's got to be open, and they need another ball handler on the floor. What's happening is Bradford's being used as the primary ball handler, which means he's not available to take the shot. Lon Kruger going to take a timeout the next time he gets a chance here. His ball club really being disrupted by this pressure.
Three minutes to go. Coleman. Sapovich missed the chippy. Ohio State underneath. And Red to the line for 2. And Krupalya is fouled out.
Well, they put all the effort they could. The ball just not bouncing Illinois' way right now. And McClain saying he was pushed underneath, but give Ohio State some credit. They are working hard in this comeback.
Tonight on CBS, it's America's Night of Heroes, beginning with martial law. when Sammo Hung and Arsenio Hall infiltrate a deadly gun smuggling ring. Then Chuck Norris stars in Walker, Texas Ranger, and the series premiere of Sons of Thunder, a new action drama featuring characters from Walker, Texas Ranger, in a guest appearance by Chuck Norris. That's tonight on CBS. A little cramp for Scooney Penn.
Well, he's been fighting that the whole basketball game here. We're just trying to get him loose. A lot of time left. This has been a long basketball game.
You can already, well, for the first time, you can sense the intensity from Ohio State.
Yeah, they did not come out here. And I'm not going to say that they totally underrated Illinois, but I think they thought they could play the way they wanted to and win the game anyway. This is a little different Illinois team than they probably saw throughout the course of the year.
Red with 2 shots.
It's going to end up with a 20-point game, about as quiet. What's he have now?
Red has 23.
He has 23.
Yeah, he's definitely going to end up with a 20-point
Well, yeah, he's very quiet. Can score in so many different ways. Doesn't occupy the ball. Not a greedy player.
Who knows? He could have a 30-point game. He's done that 4 times in his career.
Yeah. And we said the one against Wisconsin. After watching them play today, you get a 30-point game against that team, you've really done something.
From 11 to 3.
Now the press stays on. But see, it makes Bradford all the way back all the time because they don't have another ball handler out there.
Illinois squandered a 22-point lead against Minnesota. Saw the Golden Gophers come back, then put them away. Brown, what a move!
He has had a great second half.
Got 11 for the game.
The zone is kind of tough to handle the team that Jim O'Brien has on the floor right now because he's got 4 good scores.
And Red will go back to the line for 2 more.
Brown created one here. That's the last place, Jim, against the press you really want to get the ball is down in the deep corner. But for some unusual reason, Ohio State didn't double team in the corner. Left Brown wide open.
And McLean kind of set a nice little screen there.
Well, it's exactly where you'd like to see a guy have the ball, down in the deep corner. No place to go. Nobody double teamed.
Double bonus the rest of the way for Ohio State. They'll shoot 2 from here on.
Red been to the line 190-some times this year. It's only shooting 61%. Got a lot of motion with this shot.
Knocked them both down.
Thrown back against the press. Archibald goes over the top. Is Brown going to take it to the hoop? Yes, sir. And they're going to call a charge.
Oh, he wavered for a moment. He knew he had Chukadebe open on the other side, and he challenged Ken Johnson and got nailed for it.
He knew Jimmy was going against a shot blocker, so he should have come to a jump stop and then dished it off. Because he's going up against a guy that is a good shot blocker.
This was an 11-point game with 5 minutes to play. And imagine this, with a 3, they can tie it here with 2 minutes and change remaining.
So tough with this zone to handle the 4 scorers that are out on the floor for Ohio State, because every one of them capable of making his shot for the time. Yeah, give Jim O'Brien credit. He deployed the team.
Nashawn Coleman has tied it. He's hit 2 big threes in this run.
He deployed the team that fixed the defense that Illinois is playing.
1:30 remaining. 70-70. Timeout called by Lon Kruger's side. And they want it to be a 20.
A lot of firepower out there on the perimeter for Ohio State.
Been quite a day here, Billy, and this has been a a game that's had the excitement of it, as we mentioned, an NCAA tournament game. What will Illinois do now?
Well, Jim, one of the things that's interesting, I think it's more, to me, it's more interesting. Will Ohio State keep the pressure on, which has been so effective for them? Because in doing so, it takes away for Illinois the opportunity to get in their normal swing of offense. Now, if you're Illinois, I think the thing that you want to tell your team, if you're Lon Kruger, is, guys, we've got to go to score more. I mean, I realize it's a tie score right now, but what they had a tendency to do is try to get the ball over the top of that press and then just hold on to the ball.
Now remember, as they inbound it, they have only 14 seconds on the shot clock.
They better get the ball to Bradford right away and let him go with it. Here he is.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Bradford hacked by Penn. He'll shoot 2.
Why would Penn foul him? It's a tough shot for Bradford. That was a good move by Bradford to come back and get the ball. He's the answer.
That's his second personal.
66% shooter coming to the line. A freshman feeling postseason pressure, I'm sure. 2 shots with 1:19 remaining, game tied.
Isn't it amazing with this guy's style of play? He only shot 82 free throws coming into today's game.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah, you'd figure this guy'd be on the line a lot.
Played almost 1,000 minutes this year. Smooth on the first one. And again, wow, 2 pure strokes.
Will they change up the defense here? They're playing a 1-2-2 now as opposed to that 2-3 and trying to spread out a little bit.
To the corner for the lead. Coleman
gets his own rebound.
Long rebound and a timeout called by Ohio State. Nashawn Coleman, senior from Toledo, Ohio, could have given Ohio State the lead. Would have been its first lead since 4-2.
Jim, you mentioned Toledo, Ohio.
Jim Jackson, right?
You know that every Ohio State All-American has been from the state of Ohio. Is that unbelievable? 14 of them consensus All-Americans, every one homegrown.
Tuesday on CBS, a Navy pilot blacks out at 30,000 feet, and the only way out is to try an impossible mid-air rescue. Jack, Tuesday. David James Elliott. Shake your head, David. Yeah, there you go. That's on CBS Tuesday.
Big rebound. Who's the guy that's most important when you're blocking somebody out? The guy that just took the jump shot. Nobody on Coleman. Here's Brown all the way down to make sure that they've got an inbounds pass situation.
1 minute remaining.
1 minute to play.
See how this zone defense now has been extended a lot farther. Matter of fact, they're jumping out there and playing a little man-to-man.
Steal by Bradford.
That's a foul.
Hold on, is that a reach-in on Penn?
Yes, it is. It's a foul.
They took him so high, so far out.
Yeah, what they did is changed up their defense a little bit on Ohio State and then trapped. Huge free throws here, Jim.
Well, Bradford so calmly stepped to the line seconds ago. He didn't even touch rim on either one.
We saw Northwestern yesterday almost pull off an upset.
And another one.
All net on that one.
That's 3 identical swishes, and now for the 2-possession lead.
Check the defense now on Illinois. See if they change up on them again.
15 points for Bradford, 10 in the second half. Penn better pick it up in a hurry. Almost got caught on a 5 count. Stumbling, gets it down to Red.
Oh, sensational layup.
That's all Will.
Now, Archibald's got size, but does he have decision? Oh, Red didn't feel it, even touched him.
Some people here wanted to walk.
Well, Archibald can throw over the top of the press, but he is not the guy you want handling the ball. Watch this extension by Red with the left hand underneath the good defender. Perfect spin on the ball. He can create offensively.
Archibald, 68% free throw shooter, freshman from Baldwin, Missouri. 2 for 2 today. He'll shoot 2. How about these freshmen?
Hitting off the front of the rim, the back of the rim, and in. I think it's a good idea now, if you're Illinois, not to allow Ohio State to get that roll in. Send a man down so that they've got to pick up the ball right away. Remember what happened the last time? They got the ball all the way down without it starting that clock. Short.
And tipped. Did he get the timeout in time?
Well, now, wait a minute. The officials are trying to confer right here as to whether he hit the floor. The official that had the best look at it is asking another official.
McLean called timeout in midair, and they got it. They grant it. Illinois ball with a 3-point lead.
Let's get a little look at this one.
Was the foot on the line? That's what they were wondering.
No, I think he's all right, Jim. Boom.
We'll be right back.
CBS Sports coverage of the road to the Final Four is sponsored by Kemper Funds. Long-term investing in a short-term world. Visa. Play the Visa March Mayhem game at CBSSportsline.com. And by the Big New Yorker Pizza, new from Pizza Hut.
Well, they have 34 seconds on the shot clock, so Illinois with the ball, 3-point lead.
Jim Mast has been brought into the ball game as a ball handler. Now, Brown is the poorest free throw shooter on the floor for Illinois. They go long. They're going to foul him right away.
Mast, 63% shooter. He'll shoot 2. His story is an amazing one and really captures the spirit of college basketball. Nate Mast, the sophomore from Central High School right in Champaign, Illinois, tried to make the team as a walk-on his first year, and he did. Played in only one game last year for 1 minute. And here he is now in the Big Ten tournament, his sophomore year, a year in which he's elevated his play to include 4 starts. And he's at the line trying to increase the lead to 5.
He'll be substituted out if he makes this shot. Get a defensive player on the floor. Archibald comes in. Great piece of substituting there by Lon Kruger. Brings in the ball handler for offense. Brings in the defender for defense. And here's another good move. He's not going to let him roll the ball up the floor.
From the corner. Tipped up and in. Put back by Red. And it's down to 3. And a steal by Ohio State. Red rejected. A block by McLean. Oh, what a play by McLean. The Big Ten steal leader makes the block of the day.
Wow. That's why his high school team won state championships. The guy's a winner. He comes up with a huge play against a great offensive player.
That press still giving Illinois fits, and they turned it over and had a chance to go in. Who knows? With a foul and a basket, it could have been a tying moment.
Well, this is critical right here. Change it into a 2-possession game.
2 for Bradford, and this guy is unbelievable at the line. In this game, he's had 5 straight here, made free throws in the last 2 minutes, and not a one of them has even thought about the rim. Make that 6. Tonight on CBS again, Martial Law, Walker, Texas Rangers, Sons of Thunder.
Again, see, they won't let them roll the ball in.
Side the baseline, Red off the glass. Down to 3. Desperately needing the ball, needing to force the turnover, but they'll send him back to the line. McLean will shoot 2.
Ohio State foul number 3, Deshaun Coleman.
Michael Red, remember when we were speculating with about 2 minutes to go? He's got 32 now.
Yeah.
So he's tied his career high.
That's as quiet as 32 points you're going to see in a big game like this. I think he should have made himself more available for the ball.
Inside the last minute and a half, Illinois has hit 9 of 10 free throws. 2 coming for Sergio McLean. Well, he needs to make 1 of them, and he's got 1 chance.
Short.
Ohio State can tie it with a 3.
Look at who's got the ball. Look for Coleman here.
Here it is to tie. Penn. Ohio Ohio State ball. 3.6 to go. Timeout, Ohio State.
I think you're going to see Coleman take this last shot from the corner on a set play.
He has lived from that corner here in the second half. Jim O'Brien will set it up. Ohio State, one attempt coming to send it to overtime. 976 possession, Buckeyes. Billy, the strategy here.
Well, you know, coaches never agree with what I say here, and of course they're the guys that are living under the gun, but I would foul if I were Illinois on the inbounds pass. I do not let this team, that's the superior team, go into overtime against me where I think they have the advantage. So you foul on the inbounds. The best thing that they can do is to get a foul shot. They've got 2 to shoot. They've got to make the front end to 1. They have to miss the second one. They've got to get the rebound, and they've got to put it back in. I don't let them get a chance to get off the three-point shot, particularly with the good shooters, Penn and Coleman, particularly from three-point range here in his game.
Savovich, Red, Sanderson, Coleman, and Penn on the floor for Ohio State. Needing a 3 to tie. Penn, and there's your foul.
I love it.
Lon Kruger agrees with you.
I love it. Don't let a team put you in a position after you've worked so hard where by doing just one thing, they can put this game in overtime where they have the advantage. So now Penn goes to the line for 2. Now what he's got to do,
he's got to make the first, and he's only made 1 out of 4 today, so he's missed when he's been trying to make. So now, let's see. Let's see if he can make the first one. Part 1 complete.
Okay, now.
And subs going for the bigger guys coming in.
Well, the reason for that is to get the rebound.
Ken Johnson and George Reese. Timeout called by Illinois. Timeout, Illinois. Second free throw coming. 2.5 seconds away from a huge upset.
In 1948,
team in the Big Ten trying to advance to the championship game of its conference to play the #1 team, Billy.
Jimmy, now what you can do right now if you're Ohio State is try to miss this and go for the rebound, or make it and then go for your press. If they make the shot, and I'm Illinois, I take the ball out of bounds here, and I throw it all the way down the court to the top of the key on the other end. If Ohio State intercepts it, to beat you, they have to catch it and throw the ball in 1 second all the way down the other end, a 75-foot shot to beat you. So I think you got to play the percentages, particularly if you're the team that's the underdog.
I got to think he's going to try to miss. That's why I brought in the big guys. Here it is. Trying to miss indeed. Rebound tipped around. Red with the goal! Illinois is going to the championship game.
But that's what you got to do. You got to have the guts to do it as a coach, and Lon Kruger did. Loved it.
A little taste of March Madness for you, Mr. Packer.
And this is the semifinals. People said these postseason conference tournaments don't mean anything. Watch how hard these guys try to execute this play. Blocking out. Chukadebe gets held. No foul called. Referees don't want to take it over. Incredible play.
Unbelievable.
But you got to do a bunch of things, Jim, instead of just making a three-point play. You got to miss the foul, get the rebound, get it, and put it back in. And it couldn't happen. So Lon Kruger coached himself. One heck of a game there.
Lon Kruger is going to play for the Big Ten championship and a berth into the NCAA tournament if they can somehow upend the #1 team in the league, Michigan State, tomorrow. The #2 team, by the way, in the rankings in the national polls. Illinois advances to the final, and let's go over to Bonnie Bernstein.
All right, thanks, Jim. Lon, Scooney Penn said of your team, they scare me. They play loose. They can do some damage. Where do you even start to give credit for the damage your team did to the #2 seed?
Well, I'll tell you what, just awfully proud of the guys. They've come in here, they've played aggressively, they've played with a lot of confidence. They've kind of grown up during the course of the year, and obviously feel good about the results.
Jimmy Gibb, back to you, Jim.
All right, Bonnie, 3 days and 3 upsets over ranked teams, and the Chevrolet most valuable players are Corey Bradford, so clutch with those free throws, the freshman, and Michael Redd, 32 points, tying a career high. Chevrolet makes a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. So for Greg and Clark back in the studio, and for my partner Billy Packer, Jim Nance saying so long from the United Center, where Illinois, last in the regular season, has advanced to take on the best in the Big Ten tomorrow. Cinderella lives here in Chicago, and this has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the basketball championship.